everybody. I decided to sit down and make a video today because I wanted to talk about my experience going through the process of enlistment for the Navy. I don't even know where to start. My freshman year of high school, I actually took the ROTC class for like a few months. It was ROTC Air Force, and personally I didn't really like it. That's how I knew for a fact that I didn't want to do Air Force if I ever did decide to go into the military. Now, fast forwarding towards graduation and stuff, after I graduated, I moved back to South Carolina, was living life and working and all that, and I started questioning joining the military once again, and I was just like, I don't think it's as bad as I thought that it would be inside my head, because like in my head I had this like horrible picture of how the military was like, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who actually probably had the same thoughts about the military that I did. So I started talking to people who were in the military, all branches, because I wasn't sure which branch that I actually wanted to go towards. There was many of my friends and also some of my family was telling me that I should go talk to a recruiter about joining and just get the feel of the branch and everything. I put it off for like the longest time because I was in school and school was stressing me out. As in school, I meant college at this point, because I didn't know what else to do. So I was just like, hey, let me just sign up for college, take some classes and see how that goes. It was fun. So I stayed in college for like 2 semesters. It was spring and summer. So after my summer classes, I decided, hey, I saw another school that I thought that had more classes that I would be interested in. So I decided to move to Georgia. And when I moved to Georgia, I was just running around with like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to apply to like every job available and not getting anything. But luckily I finally have something, and that's besides the point. Anyway, I ended up not applying to that school, and I started talking to my dad more because he was in the Navy himself, and he was like very encouraging, but he wasn't like pushing it on me. He was just telling me what it was like and everything, and I was digging it. When I decided to go to a recruiter and speak to them, I didn't have a job at that time, and I just thought that I was just gonna go in and talk to them and just like learn more and then leave and then decide if I really wanted to do it. But I decided that when I went to go talk to the recruiters. But before that, I went online and I went to like Army website, Marines website, Navy website, Air Force website, and I just looked at what they had to offer, their jobs, and the benefits. I guess not really the benefits. I mostly focused on the jobs because I wanted to do something that I would like, and I wouldn't want to go in there and then like regret going because I ended up being put in a job that I didn't like. After looking around for a while, I decided that I was leaning more out of the 4 towards the Navy. So that's when I decided, oh, I want to go and talk to a recruiter. And when I got to the recruiter, we talked about all the things that Navy had to offer and everything. And then he sent me in a room to take a practice ASVAB test. I personally never took the ASVAB before. So I was freaking out. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. And this is only a practice test. And what if like they use this information and decide that I'm not good enough? And I was just having all crazy thoughts. Regardless of if I did good or bad, we went to the next step and we started filling out basic paperwork. And that was a really long process. It was horrible. I wanted it to end, but now looking back at it, I'm glad I decided to go through with it and go talk to him. After I finished paperwork with him, he told me that I'm gonna have to wait a while and that he'll call me when I can go up to MEPS to finish, like get my physical and take the real ASVAB. When he finally called me back, he came and got me. He took me to this hotel where like all branches of the military went. You went there if you were going to MEPS and if you were shipping out to basic training the next day. I went and took the ASVAB first. I never took it before, so I was really nervous and I didn't really study like I should have. All in all, I made a 67 on the ASVAB. I don't know how good or how bad that is, but they told me that I did pretty good, so I was happy with that. I went along to the physical during just basically a regular checkup that you would take if you went to the doctors. They took me home, had to wait like roughly a week. It wasn't really that long. Excuse me. When I got back to the MEPS center the second time, I didn't have to do another physical. Everything, that was all done. Then the Navy officer called me back. I talked to him and I was telling him that I wanted to be a mass communication specialist, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get that. A certain part of the ASVAB I had 1 point too low, so I couldn't get it. So instead they recommended me to try out to be an AM, which is an aviation structural mechanic. I'm excited about that. So I signed my contract with them, which is, I signed this contract with them, signed the contract on November 3rd. I am shipped off to basic training March 1st of 2017, and I am very excited about that as well. I was done waiting. They took me and some other Navy recruits that just signed their contracts as well into this room where we swore in, which is basically giving ourselves to the Navy. I was like, wow, everything is finally done and I'm in the Navy. It still hasn't like really sunk in yet. I feel like it will after I go off to basic training. If you made it this far in the video, thank you, and I hope you find this entertaining. I hope you learned a little bit about the process, and if you're thinking about joining, don't let anybody try to force you into it. You can't be forced into it. They'll ask you if you were forced into it, and if you join the Navy, hi. And if you joined any other branch, hi. And that's all I have to say. So, bye.